Once upon a time there was a merchant. He had 3 daughters. Belle, the youngest daughter, was intelligent and pretty. Her 2 older sisters were very jealous of her. Belle was not like her sisters. They would spend all day dancing and watching plays. Belle did not care much for dressing up. She liked reading books. Her 2 older sisters would laugh at her, make jokes about her, and say she was just a bookworm who didn't understand how to enjoy life. But kind Belle never got angry at them. One day, the merchant received a letter. The letter stated that he was to pick up a boat shipment that had arrived. The 2 older daughters began bothering their father for gifts. Belle, however, asked for nothing. She only hoped that her father might safely return home. "You don't want anything?" The merchant couldn't help but ask his youngest daughter. Belle thought for a moment and said, "All right, perhaps you could pick me a rose." Unfortunately, the shipment was stolen before it was sold, so the merchant could only return home empty-handed. Even worse, the merchant got lost in the forest. Night had fallen, and the wind was blowing so hard he couldn't even open his eyes. After a while, he could hear a wolf howling in the distance. The merchant's horse was so frightened it ran off. The merchant became very afraid. He figured that if he didn't starve or freeze to death, he would certainly be eaten by wolves. Just then, the merchant discovered a palace in front of him, so he quickly went over to it. The merchant pushed open the palace doors to find that not a single person was inside. However, there was a table filled with food in the big room. The merchant was starving, so he began devouring the food. He even had a few glasses of wine. After he had filled himself with food and drink, the merchant found a bedroom in the palace. He lied down comfortably on the bed and instantly fell asleep. The next day, when the merchant woke up, his clothes that had been torn by branches had disappeared. Instead, sitting on the chair was a brand new set of clothes. The merchant was very surprised. He thought to himself, "This is too amazing. This palace must belong to some kind of fairy." The merchant looked out the window and saw that there was a garden outside. In the garden was a multitude of beautiful roses. He remembered Belle's request, so he quickly walked into the garden and picked the most tender, beautiful rose. Just then, a horrifying beast appeared. You have absolutely no conscience, the beast roared in anger. I have treated you so well, yet you try to steal my most beloved rose. Despicable! I'm going to eat you. The merchant was scared to death, so he kneeled onto the ground and began begging the beast to forgive him. He told the beast that his daughters could not live without their father. The beast thought for a moment and said, I will give you 3 days' time. You may return and say goodbye to your daughters. If one of your daughters is willing to die in your place, then I will let you go. The merchant finally returned home. His 3 daughters were very excited to see their father. The merchant gave the rose to Belle and said sadly, My good child, you must appreciate this rose. Your father has sacrificed his life for it. When they heard what had happened to him, the 2 older sisters were so shocked that they screamed. They also severely scolded Belle. Belle, however, was very calm. She said, I am willing to go to the beast in place of father. Of course, the merchant did not agree to this, but Belle insisted on going. The 3-day time limit was approaching quickly, so Belle and her father had no choice but to begin the journey back. The 2 older sisters rubbed onions in their eyes, pretending to cry and mourn as they said their goodbyes. Belle thought the beast would eat her right away, but the beast was actually quite friendly. He chatted with her and even arranged to have her stay in a beautiful room filled with books. Belle took a book off the shelf. You may have whatever you wish, was written in gold letters on the book. Belle said to herself, I wish for nothing. I would only like to know what my father is doing. She had barely finished speaking when in the mirror next to her she saw her father, looking very distressed. Just like that, 3 months passed. Every day the beast would come to see Belle. Belle was not afraid of the beast one bit. But when the beast proposed to her, Belle refused because she couldn't imagine marrying an ugly beast. One day, Belle asked the beast to let her go home to see her family. The beast said sadly, If you are gone for too long, your pitiful beast will die. I will only go back to visit. I will return in a week, Belle promised. Early the next day, Belle woke up and discovered that she was already home. Beside her was also a big box filled with fancy clothes. She knew that it was from the kind beast. When her 2 sisters saw that she was dressed like a princess, they became inflamed with jealousy. They came up with a wicked plan to make Belle stay at home for a few more days, hoping that the beast would become so angry he would eat her up. So when Belle was ready to leave, they pretended that they didn't want her to leave. So kind Belle was forced to stay a few more days. That evening, Belle dreamed about the beast lying motionless in the garden on the verge of death. Belle became very sad. It was then that she realized that at some unknown moment she had fallen in love with the kind beast. She thought to herself, "The beast has been so good to me, yet I've caused him so much pain. Why shouldn't I marry him? He may be ugly, but he is very kind. If I marry him, I will definitely be very happy." So Belle immediately went to the palace. Belle pushed open the palace doors. However, the big room was empty. The beast did not come out to welcome her. She recalled her dream and hurried to the garden. Goodness! Just like her dream, there was the beast lying in the grass, already unconscious. Belle fell upon the beast and began crying. She said, "My beloved beast, you must live. Now I know how important you are to me. I want to marry you and be with you forever." Belle had just finished speaking when flames of fire arose from the garden. Beautiful music began playing, as if it was a festival. Belle looked down and was stunned. The beast had disappeared, and in his place there stood a handsome prince. The prince had been changed into a beast by a witch. When a beautiful girl sincerely